Welcome back to our channel. Today we are in Datang, our bright city. But unlike the Euro days, we are inside the Datang, our bright city. And there is a new museum behind me. It was called the Chinese New Year Cultural Museum. And it was built and designed by the staff in Datang, our bright city. And today, let me give you a tour about this Chinese New Year Cultural Museum. Let's dig out what was happening in the history of the Chinese New Year culture. So follow my steps. Now we are at the front hall, and first, in my left side, let me introduce you this charming lady. You could say in there is a three-dimensional projector. And this lady is wearing a bright orange costume from the ancient China. And who is she? She is an untypical lady. She is the most famous actress in Datang, our bright city. And she always gives the tourists the best dance show. And tourists from all over the country, like Shanghai, Beijing, or even abroad in America or Australia, they come here just to meet her in person and shake hands with her for good luck. And I wonder that in your country, do you have a famous actress for a dance performance just like her with this charming, shows you the ancient and modern China charm? So if you don't have this kind of performance, just come to Xi'an and do not miss this show. Next, we saw this mural of Fang Eqin. He is a local artist from Shanxi province, and this mural just shows the Tang music and dance art. Wow, you could say here, this is an elegant lady with her sisters or some just friends with her, and they are giving a dance performance in this party. And in here, you could say that there is a lady, she is playing the drum, and the lady behind her is playing the pipa, and there's zhongruan. And over there is bianzhong, zhongruan, and pipa. They are all the ancient instruments in ancient China. And this is the intangible heritage still remains to now. And over here, you could say there is xiao, sheng, and they are both instruments. And in this mural, you could appreciate the music charm of Tang Dynasty. And above here, can you see that soldiers and warriors? Yeah, they look so brave, and they protect the ladies and their emperor. And this is definitely shows the charming of Tang Dynasty. Now let's move to the next hall. As we all know, ancient China is a super huge agricultural country. And during the agricultural progress, people they found the idea about planting in spring and harvest in autumn. And this big giant screen behind me is a screen that shows the 24 solar terms. It is the wisdom of the ancient Chinese ancestors. And now, let's come to the first hall to see how the development is the Chinese New Year. Okay, just follow my step. And first, we could appreciate and the preparations for this New Year festival. First, we come to La Ba Festival. This is the opening ceremony of the New Year festival. Today, people still making La Ba porridge. You could see in here. There are dried grapes and some beans, and sugars are absolutely in here. And we put this rice with these ingredients into a hot pot, and we just burn them, boil them when they come to the something that's the creamy and sweety. Yeah, and when you drink that, when you eat that, you will feel the warmth just from the bottom of your heart, and it is the symbol of luck. Then we come to the 23rd day of Lunar January. In that day, we offer the kitchen god into our kitchen. And in today, in some rural areas, people still welcome the kitchen god because they believe that the kitchen god could offer people a better diet and a good harvest in the autumn. And then we come to the 24th day of the lunar 12th. Yeah, it was called the dust cleaning day. And I don't know what you are using to cleaning the house, but in China, we use this. This is called 鸡毛掸子. For its meaning, it is the stick that made by wooden and chicken feathers. Yeah, it can be a part of family education. Yeah, and in that day, you could say in that picture, a child and his mother, his sister, all the family gather together to clean the house. That means to clean the bad luck away. And the next day is the 25th day of this lunar December. And in that day, especially the female in the family, they will gather together and use a tofu making machine to make tofu. This is a traditional custom of the preparation in Chinese New Year. And then we come to the 26th day of this lunar December. In that day, you could say in this picture, there is a butcher who is raising the pigs, and he just kills the pigs for the pork and sells them on a market. You know, in ancient times, China is not as wealthy as today. So people just get pork on national days or on the festivals, especially in Spring Festival. You could say that a child, a little boy, is holding a series of fireworks and he is running with a happy smile. Yeah, we could say that. And above this market, there is a bowl of pork. And this pork, yeah, I assume that it was delicious. Do you want to taste it? Come to China. And in 27th day of this lunar December, people making the fair. What is a fair? It's like a market today. Yeah, and people there buy products and for the new year. You could say that there is a boy who's riding a rooster. Isn't that funny? Yeah, I think so. And the next day, we come to the 28th day of lunar December. On that day, we call this day lavering the dough. What is dough? Dough is a mix of this wheat flour and the water. You could say that. Yeah. And what's that for? I will show you later. And we come to the 29th day of this lunar December. On that day, we make this lavering dough steaming on the pot. We make 馒头. Read after me, 馒头. Yeah, it is also called 馍 in Shanxi area. And this tastes very, very sweet, but not sweet as the bread. Because you know, in Western countries, the bread was made by the high gluten flours, but in China, we use average gluten flour to make this 馒头. It is the traditional cuisine in Chinese history. And then finally, we come to the New Year's Eve. It happened in 30th day in lunar month. And you could say in here, on that day, people gather together to have a family meals because they want to have a family reunion. Yeah, and on that day, people always stay up late all night to keep the monsters away. That was called 守岁. It means if you protect this year, this day, it means you can get the fortune all year. And this is all for the preparations above the Spring Festival. Now, let's come to say what people are doing during this Spring Festival. So first, how to celebrate this Chinese festival. In first day of the lunar January, you could say that a child. He's holding his lucky money. Yeah, there are 2 red pockets in his basket. Can't you see that? And the dog next to him seemed very happy. And this lucky money is always the parents or the relatives give the child, and they hold the wish that the child could grow up healthier and happy. Yeah. And then we come to the second day of this lunar January. On that day, married female will come back to their home and have meals with their families. That's called the married daughter goes to the mom's house. It was a Chinese traditional history and still remains to today. And in this picture, what does this picture show you? Yeah, we could say there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 mouse, right? But I think maybe in this carriage, there are sitting a bridal mice. Why would I say that? Because on the third day of this lunar January, it's called the Little New Year. And this is during to the legend is a mouse who married his wife, and the people always share a hand of rice on the corner of their rooms. It means I share the food with a mouse. Could you give me a little bad luck? Could you give me some good luck? Yeah, this is a wisdom of Chinese Asian people. And we come to 4th day of lunar January. It was a kitchen god day. When the kitchen god come to the folk, we call it 接五路. It means on that day, people just gave away the kitchen god and welcome who? Yeah, welcome the wealth god. Yeah, the wealth god means a good luck and a big fortune for people. Yeah, and then we come to the 5th day of the lunar January. On that day, people will cleaning their house. And different from the 24th day of the lunar December, this day is meant to get the best wishes to the new year. And after that, we come to 闹年. It means joyful activities during this spring festival. Yeah, firstly, we have these temple fairs. What is temple fairs? Temple fairs is just like a religious fair. It's like a market. People always buy product and have some parade during this festival. Yeah, and you could see in here, this is called 太平 drum. It was also peace drum, and people just play it to get a great fortune. And then we have the Lantern Festival. When it comes to the Lantern Festival, it means this New Year festival comes to an end. And in this Lantern Festival, people always eat this rice ball. It's called 元宵. It tastes creamy and flavorful. And in southern area, people eat salty 元宵. But in Shanxi and in north area, people eat sweet 元宵. It's unlike the dumplings. We eat dumplings in New Year's Eve, but we eat 元宵, this sweet rice ball, in Lantern Festival. And also, we will have a role playing with the lion. Isn't that interesting? So that's all for the New Year Festival customers. If you want to have a better experience of that, I wish you come to Xi'an, because Xi'an has the most wonderful Chinese New Year. Do not miss that. And next, let's come to the revolution of this Chinese New Year. And in this mural, you could say that there is a picture for a good luck. 3,000 years evolution of Chinese Spring Festival. And in here, you could say that this is the origin and the form of Chinese New Year. And Chinese New Year has developed in thousands of years. You could say in there. Yeah. This is a pre-Qin dynasty. In this dynasty, the New Year has actually begins and originated. And you could say in this oracle actually record the originate of the New Year. And in Western Eastern Han Dynasty, the New Year has developed further. And you can see in here, you know that in ancient China, there are fireworks. Yeah. And in Han Dynasty, people always play fireworks during the Spring Festival. This is the old customs that still remains to now. Can you guys see this round golden stone behind me? I bet you can. Yeah, this stone is not just a normal stone. This is a duplicate decoration of the Taichu calendar. Though this is a decoration, but Taichu calendar has the highest date in Chinese history. It is the very first completed calendar in China, and it also wrote the 24 solar terms in national calendar system. And also, it indicates that every January lunar 1st is a day of Spring Festival, and you could say that this is a very landmarkable progress in Chinese history, especially on calendar. In Tang Dynasty, New Year has developed into a higher level. You could say here, there are many books that records how the New Year developed in Tang Dynasty, and there are 24 solar terms in Tang Dynasty. And now let's come to see that. What can you see in here? Wow, I could see some masks. How are these masks function? Yeah, you can see here there is a red face, there are orange face and blue face, and they are, yeah, don't you think they looks a little scary? Yeah, I think it's a little scary, but it is to scare the people away? No, it aims to protect ourselves from the monsters. It was a 傩祭. It was a custom that prevailed in Guangdong area. Yeah, have you ever heard of Guangdong? If you ever heard of Guangdong, you must have heard about Shenzhen, right? Yeah, and we could see in here, these are two books about 傩戏. What is 傩戏? This is the play form of this 傩, this. Yeah, and you could appreciate online. Yeah, and in here we see a big giant screen that showed us the development of the New Year. And we come to here. Wow, I could just see some green ingredients. Can you see that? Yeah, this is called 五辛 plate. What is 五辛? 五辛, xin is a Xin means spicy in Chinese culture, but it is also similar sound to xing. You know, xing means happiness because so when you eat this, these 5 spicy ingredients will bring you happiness. Yeah, and we have garlic. Yeah, you know garlic. Garlic tastes very spicy. And now, wow, we saw a clay wine, big clay, not a wine. It's a big clay basket. Yeah. And in this basket, you could see there are some little round plates that have some ingredients. What are these ingredients for? Right, they are here to make tusu wine. Tusu wine is not just like the liquor or tequila you are drinking every day. This tusu wine tastes mild. It tastes mild, not unlike the tequila. It's not that spicy, so it can just warm your stomach and make you feel happy during the Spring Festival. And now let's come to see how the Spring Festival developed in modern China. The North and South Song dynasty has developed this New Year culture into a higher level, and I bet that you know there is a famous poet Su Shi in Chinese history, and he just using name cards to greet the Lunar New Year relatives, and these customs just remains to now. And he is a first person to use red paper bag with two Chinese characters. Yeah, and then we hanging peach-filled charms. It's called Taofu. And in Song Dynasty, this Taofu paper could serve as charm to drive away evil spirits and protect his owner. Yeah, this is a development of the New Year festival. And we come to the Ming and Qing dynasty. This is Xianzong. He was holding a parade and holding a gala in this lantern festival. And you could see in this picture, there is a dancer and many instrument players play the flute and dancing for Xianzong. And then this is a picture for Qing dynasty. This is a forbidden city in Qing dynasty's Spring Festival, and there are some pictures and some couplets on each door of Palace Hall. And you could say that there are so many people out of this forbidden city, and in the forbidden city there are many government officials in here, and I assume that this parade is holding for the emperor. And we could say that this is 7-character couplet in running script by the Emperor Hongli in Qing dynasty, and this is called 旭日正辉. It means the sunrise just rose China, and this is the best of hope to the ancient China history. And now we come to the New Year in modern times. And this is the naming of the Spring Festival. We could say in here, there are many trains. Can you guess why these trains are here? Yeah, because the ancient China and the modern China, it has a large amount of population, and this population is just to make the transportation more crowded. And we use these trains, we invented these trains to make the transportation ways more convenient. Why China makes this more convenient? Because in Chinese history, family reunion in Spring Festival is the most important in this festival. So the government and all aspects in society, they want to make people more convenient to get a family reunion with their family, because they believe that the reunion will get people happiness. Yeah, and you could say in here, from the crowded green trains to high speedways, this not just shows the economic growth of China, but also a very vast development in culture. And you could see in this picture, during the 春运 means the transportation during the Spring Festival, and the staff of the train station, they service for the tourists, because though the weekend home is remote, but the warmth in heart is prolonged. Yeah, and we could say that the reunion pace is always long, but with everyone's happy mood. This mood makes the long way not so suffering. And in this picture, you could say that in 2009 in Wuxi train station, these Sichuan people, they just get on the train through the window. Wow, how crowded it is. But this shows they're brave and the spirit. They want a family reunion and they want to get along with their families. So you could say that the culture of Spring Festival just remains a spirit in every Chinese heart. And this is the last century, in 20th centuries, that the market, the store, they just sold some commodities. You could say this pink shirt. This is a common shirt that the female laborers will wear, and this is called 228 big bicycle, and this is used for transport with packages, with big packages. And then we come to this ticket. We come to this ticket time. Yeah, ticket era. And then, wow, you could see in here, this is a scenario about the 1998 Spring Festival. And on that television, this is a famous actor called Feng Gong. Yeah, right? I guess it's him. Yeah, and they are having a performance to make people laugh. Yeah, and this is a famous song from the song queen. Her name is Wang Fei, and this song named Meeting in 1998. She is the most famous singer in China. And wow, can you see that? These are clay sculptures. Wow, what are these sculptures describe? I assume that it is called 关中社火. It was a parade and a big party in Guangzhou area, especially in Shanxi. And on my left hand, you could say that there is a clay sculptures round in this place, and you could say that there are many people here. They are playing the instruments and shows the spirit of the 社火. And wow, can you see that? A man is holding the sticks and to play the drum. And I think this is the most happiest thing that happens during this parade. And yeah, on that clay sculpture, we could say that people are to see the relatives during this 社火 festival. Wow! And behind me there is a 花模. Can you see that? Yeah, 花模 is made by the wheat flowers with different colors. But these colors are not made by some chemical product. These colors, they are made by some like flowers or some just like red beans. Yeah, I think that is very healthy and very appreciable. Yeah, and you could say in here, the character in here is called 中国年看先. It means if you want to appreciate the spirit of Chinese New Year, come to Xi'an, and Xi'an will never let you down. And in here, you could say there is a big ice of the long is made by grapes. And in here, wow, there are roses made by flavors and the lanterns too. Wow. And in here, you could say there is a tower. There is a tower by the dove. Don't you think that is amazing? Yeah. And this is from Weinan. And this sculpture, this amazing 花模, is made by a local master. Her name is Shen Hongyun. And this is for the big activities in 2019. And now, let me show you the New Year pictures. What can you see on these New Year pictures? Wow, there are different colors. You know that in China, there is an old saying, red always matches the green. Because the two colors are like the flowers and leaves. One can show the other's beauty. Yeah, and in here, wow, you could say that there is a lady. She just playing with the lawn, and this. I guess this is a picture of the activities happens in Spring Festival. Yeah, and posting New Year pictures during the Spring Festival means post good luck and to welcome the good fortune come to the family. So everyone will posting the New Year picture during this Spring Festival. And now we come to the modern days. Yeah, you could see in here. This is an overview of this Datang Everbright city. And I hope that you could come here and see this and appreciate this Chinese New Year Culture Museum in person. With the rapid economic development and the modernization in China recent years, this Chinese New Year is not just a festival, but also it is a symbol of Chinese culture. And in this museum, we could appreciate how the Chinese New Year developed and why our country stresses the most. And if you come to Xi'an, do not miss this museum. And may every people in the world a happy family, a happy life.